Hey guys, so due to request, I am doing a few more reviews. Today I am doing Tag by Rich Ferguson, and can't really perform the effect because it requires you to introduce yourself to a spectator or stranger. So I'm just going to give you a quick description of it here. Pretty much what the effect is you walk up to someone and you you take a couple books, or you can do cards, whatever. Books is the main focus of this DVD though, and you have them think of a word out of the book, and once they think of it, you tell them to start imagining it materializing. You don't tell them more, just imagine to materialize, and it leads up to you revealing on their arm the word that they were thinking of. And you can play around with it. There's several ways to do it. I'm going to get into that, his performance options and handlings, and then I'm going to get into the gimmick and all the different details about that. I'm not going to reveal the trick, of course, but there are some things you need to know about that. And then just have some overall side notes, things I did and didn't like, and I'm going to finish off with the rating for it. Alright, here, I forgot to show the cover. That's the cover, tagged by Rich Ferguson. Alright, so let's get into it. Alright, so first thing I'd like to start off with is the gimmick. Now, the gimmick is something that you think it's like, oh, why didn't I think of that moments? I mean, there's tons of those in Magic when you buy DVDs, but it's extremely expensive to construct. I think it cost me about what was it, $35 to actually acquire everything I needed. Most of it's not stuff you would have around the house. I think there's one, two things maybe you'd have around the house, but definitely something you're gonna have to invest money in. So if you're thinking about buying it, saying, oh, it's only $30, to actually do the trick, you're gonna have to want to have a few more bucks set aside, more than a few bucks actually, and have different words. You're gonna even need even more money. I only made a couple, and that cost me the 35. All right. So that's that. The gimmick's pretty expensive, and that's something you should know up front. Secondly, I'm going to get into handlings. All right. So Rich went over, I believe, a couple. Actually, he went over two ways to make the gimmick. Both are pretty expensive, so we got it out of the way. But he didn't really go over the cleanup of the gimmick. He only went over kind of using it, but as far as cleaning up the effect, it was kind of like it was forgotten about, something that didn't really come up in anyone's mind, I guess. And so he kind of just says, oh, you can figure that out on your own, how to get rid of it. And that's something you should also be aware of, and you gotta be pretty creative. And it's also something that kind of upset me too, though, because of the nature of the gimmick, which I'm not going to get into anymore. But that's something that I did not care for. But as far as performance handlings, I guess there are more like different routines than handlings because, I mean, in the commercial you see him mostly use books, and he shows you several different things you can do with the books as far as different forces with the books, because obviously you're going to be forcing a word. He shows you lots of different forces that you can use with the books and newspapers, stuff with guiding people's hands around. And something also, he really gets into the psychology of the spectator, and he really talks to you a lot about that. And it doesn't just help you with this trick alone, it really helps you with your overall idea of spectator psychology in Magic. And I thought that was something that was pretty helpful. But he also goes over cards, how to do it with cards, and he goes over I think two or three forces, and one of them he just explains a forcing deck and what it is and how you can get one on E or at your local Magic Stop or whatever. But he shows actually two legitimate forces, and like I said, he goes over, what is it? He goes over a way you can do it with two people. He goes over a way you can do it with one person. As far as reading their minds and their words, he goes over how to do it with newspaper. He goes over doing it with a card, and he shows how to make a special card gimmick too. You can do, and he shows actually three ways. There's three ways. One is way more expensive than the other two, and the other two are still expensive. So just something to keep in mind. You have to have more than the $30 that it costs you to get the trick. All right. Now, something I didn't that what did disappoint me is just something kind of there. Like when he talks about the psychology of the trick, he kind of seems like he's talking forever and ever and ever and ever. And there's some points in the DVD where he's just going on and on and on, and it seems like there's really no point to the actual trick. And it's a long DVD. It's, I think, an hour and a half, 2 hours. I'm not even looking at the box right now, and so it's definitely something you're going to want to watch in pieces, because I tried to watch the whole thing and just half of it was in one ear out the other. Definitely a trick that requires practice, and this is one that you can't necessarily practice alone. You almost need to practice with another person, so I'd suggest doing it with your siblings, or if you have a buddy you practice magic with all the time. Definitely something that you will want to consider. So overall, I'd give it four out of 5 stars. Mostly because of he doesn't really go over cleaning up the trick, and I mean, you can think of some ways, but I would have liked a little more guidelines, because it took me a couple weeks to figure out an actual really clean way to finish the trick. But and also he dialogues a lot without having any interactive material, and I thought that was something that kind of makes you lose interest quickly. And also actually, you know what? I'm gonna drop my rating right now to 3.5, because the gimmick is insanely expensive to create, and most of the stuff you're not gonna find at your house. And so 3.5 out of 5 stars, I'd say. So that's my review on Tagged by Rich Ferguson. If you have any more questions about it, just ask me, and if you're thinking about buying it, I'll put a link down in the comment box. All right. Rate, like, subscribe. Thanks.